Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Alliance Forever. Today, I have a 4v4 ladder match here on the most amazing Necroxus map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and players, starting off with Team Red up in the northeast corner, also known as Team 1, and ending with Team 2, also known as the blue team in the southwest. Starting off with the easternmost player for Team 1, it is in orange, the color orange, Hannah below, going first land as a Cybran. To his northwest, another Cybran. It is Scorpy going first land in Pac-Man yellow. Last person here on the front, the side of things in terms of the land, we have Selly Voleri. Voleri? I think I'll call him or her Cell for sure. Going first land in Ruby Red as a UEF. And in Sevi Crimson for the Rear Guard Air slot here for Team 1, it is Antrox going first air is a Seraphim. The Seraphim color looks very cool with the Chevy Crimson, makes it all like glossy, very cool texture, I guess I would say, for the Cybran faction. And in terms of racial makeup here for Team 1, there are 2 Cybrans, 1 UEF, and 1 Seraphim. No Aeon technology here for Team 1. So no Donuts, no Restorers, and no Aurora. Down here for Team 2, starting off with the Stitch blue player of Caliber, making his appearance once again on the channel, going first land as a Cybran, going second air as well. To his southwest, also going first land, second air, we have Zayrus going as a Cybran in Tropical Ocean Blue. Last play on the front line here for Team 2, it is Chaz. Still think I'm saying his name wrong, but I don't know. I feel like it's Chaz, but the X is throwing me off, so maybe I'll call him Chiz still. He's going first land, second land, third land here as a Seraphim in Amethyst Purple. And again, I don't know if the Seraphim got some update with their textures on their comms and some of their units, but they look a lot more glossy. Maybe it's just the maybe they reflect the environment that they're in, so it's very red ground, and so maybe that's what it looks like that. But last but not least here for Team 2, it is Gib going first, probably first land, second air as the one and only Aeon of the game, and he is in Royal Blue. In terms of Team 2 side of things, we have 2 Cybran, a Seraphim, and an Aeon. No UEF tech here for Team 2. So it's essentially no Aeon for Team 1, and no UEF for Team 2, with both teams having 2 Cybran players. Let's take a look at Reclaim here before everything pops off. We have 12,760, a 10% of what the last match had, which was over 100,000. And that video really popped off. Thank you so much for all of the support. Currently, I think the video is at 900 views of my time of recording this one. So again, thank you so much for watching it. If you haven't gone and watched it, I would recommend you do so after this one. Give you something else to watch, because we all love to binge FAF once in a while, or most of the time, I should say. But in terms of mass points, there is a lot of mass points here. A lot of them, in the middle of the map here, and kind of this almost, what would you call this? Like a face almost. These are like the upside down face. There's like the chin, there's the nose, there's the eyes, there's some hair over here. So it's like an upside down face. And we have a string of units coming here from Scorpy, trying to secure at least the mouth area of the map here. We have radar planned here for Zayrus, trying to get that early installation online to get that nice juicy intel. He is leading the charge with his commander versus what Team 1 is doing, with 2 of their commanders they're in tow, they're on their way, but they are behind some of their units. We do have a couple of these hunters, hunters, moles, and mantises here, trying to get a nice little grouping on this set of mexes. And there's a couple of mexes up here to the northwest. We got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on each side, because the map is split down the middle, diagonally here. And there's not really like a huge group of like, this is where you need to be kind of thing in terms of contested mass. Because a lot of mass is going to stay relatively on Team 1 or Team 2 side of things. Because there's this giant, it's this weird environment, I would call it, in the middle, it's like there's a lot of mountains and a couple of plateaus, cliffs and stuff that you can't traverse very well, and so it's very hard to, contest that other side of the map, especially with a lot of the main bases for both teams being on that front line, very close to these frontline mexes. We have a squad of a Mantis going after some T1 mexes here against Sayrus here. It's going to reduce his eco by a tiny bit, but again, they are T1 mexes here at 5 minutes. It's not the biggest thing on the planet if he loses a couple of those early on, but mass is still mass, and every little bit counts. We have a couple of these Thams inbound to help intercept, but they're not going southward like these Mantis are. I'm surprised to see these Mantis not take out this Mex, but they were focused on taking out tanks. But they're going to run into a PD, and those Mantis are not going to last very long, unfortunately, here for Hannibal. In terms of rankings here for the game, the lowest and the highest rated player are on Team 2, and they are separated by about 400 ranking points. Not a huge amount. Team 2, of course, is the law of averages, with a 1343 being the highest and a 1221 being the 1521 being the highest and the 1343 being the lowest. So it's there's a lot more like tight grouping here for Team 1, but that usually happens in FAF. That's kind of how the balancing mechanics work. Is it usually ends up being with the bookends on one team and the people in the middle, the average in the middle. We have a tiny little Selen trying to take out that Mex. It will die off, does not kill it off. The Cyberns have the ability to regen their structures automatically. There's just a feature that they get. If they get veterancy, they go up faster. But it's just a standard Cybern faction feature. We have a couple of Thams being outnumbered by these Mantis, and I think there's some engineers in the mix, and a bomber as well. So it does look like Hannibal pushing the eastern side. We have Scorpy getting a nice footing here on this northwestern side. Well, actually, yeah, northwestern side of this face that's upside down. But there's not really a whole lot of progress. A lot of it's going to be bottlenecked here, unfortunately, here for him, because we have the comm here of Sayrus to the northwest, and we have a group of units here to the east. So he's going to run into kind of a hard time here in the middle. His best goal would be to team up with Hannibal and push this southwestern side, but they do have the comm of Chaz, which is to worry about here. He is frontline. He has a couple of engineers. He's going for his speed and gun upgrade, similar to what Scorpy is doing. But one is a Seraphim and one is a Cybern with those C and S sounds. And the other one on the front line is another Cybern with the speed and upgrade for Sayrus' comm. Do we have gun upgrade here for Caliber? No, because a lot of his forces, actually, he's just kind of situated over here to the northwest. He is worried about a push here through this little mountain cliff area, and he has positioned himself quite well. There were a line of walls that were control K'd or destroyed or something. I don't think they were, actively targeted. I think he control K'd them. Possibly, but we do see the forces from Gib coming into some fighting here to the northwest. Does look like Seal is coming up against a 2v1 scenario in this northwest. Both the comms of Caliber and Gib are focusing on this northwestern corner of the map. They want to try to grab it. There's 9 mexes here that they can share. So, it's a decent amount of eco to grab on. Caliber not really focused on the middle, which he could go after and help assist his partner of Sayrus, but he's trying to focus on this mountain pass area. And I think units can make it through here, but they can't get down here, which would be very useful, but you could obviously get some artillery to just rain in on either side. But it would be a good grab for either team to send at least a couple of artillery through the middle and take out some of those production facilities, which is starting to really hamper Seal because it's a 2v1 scenario, so we have 2 ecos essentially versus 1, and eventually that will side with Team 2 or the blue team as time goes on. We have the comm of Sayrus being shot down by the comm of Scorpy. Both have the gun upgrade by the looks of it. Yep, they both do. And so Sayrus has to retreat as fast as he can. More units are coming in for both teams. Scorpy does retreat a little bit. All this is going to do essentially is force Team 2 into a bottleneck here in this position, essentially creating a kill box for these incoming units here for Team 1. The Team 2 has to be very cognizant of, if we just hold back a little bit, put some structures on this plateau and put some here, that's a nice little kill box they and set up here for their game. And it's very similar here on the eastern side as well. We have Chiz has actually a better position. He has 2 plateaus that he can put structures and stuff on, but he's being bombarded by some planes in the sky here. A couple of these bombers. Would like to see some AA here. There is some mobile. Would like to see at least one T1 gun. But it looks like they're going further back. I don't know what they're targeting, essentially. Maybe they're targeting the PGen, or they're targeting these mechs that are very vulnerable. T1 bombers cannot take out a T1 mechs by themselves, at least one-on-one scenario, and they need 2. Interceptors come in here from Gib to help assist. Looks like one bomber will get off, take the second mechs out. Another one will drop its payload, taking the third mechs out, and that will be it. But 3 mechs is, T1, that's, what is it, 6 mass per second? Yeah, 6 mass per second. It's essentially it's a T2 mechs. It's not the biggest concern, but of course any mechs, any eco damage is definitely worth it. But a huge column of T1 Mantis are incoming straight through this middle section here. Both the comms of Saris and the comm of Chiz are not in position to deal with this. They have a couple of T2 bots here, these Ilshis. But there's a lot of T1 units coming in. This is not going to hold. Please take out, okay, thank you. Please take out the intel. You're not targeting, there it goes, okay. I was like, please target the intel. It's very annoying when I see groups of units that just ignore it. It's frustrating, at least for me, because my opinion is you got to blind your opponent. Once you blind your opponent, then you can do whatever you want, but you got to blind them first. A couple of these hoplite rocket bots here, the T2 bots here that a lot of Cybern players use. It's either these or the Rhinos. A lot of people stick with the Rhinos because they're more tanky, but the rocket bots are very effective. We're even seeing a couple of Rhinos here for Saris as well. The rocket bots are nice because they do a lot of damage. You can see their rockets come off and just annihilate whatever Team 1 forces are here. And since Team 1 is coming in with a column, they're not coming in with like a wide formation. A lot of these units aren't going to be able to do enough damage to take out the defending forces. Thereby, Team 2 essentially just wins by default. And I get it. They wanted to avoid the right side and left side, but because they went down the middle in such narrow environment, it didn't really work out. And now it just gave Team 2 the opportunity to push forward, and that's what they're doing here on the eastern side. Jizz is pushing against the comm of Hannah below. It does look like his forces are starting to dwindle quite heavily, but he might be able to just force the comm back, at least back to his main base, if not up to this upper ridge here. And it does look like it won't go that far, but he'll secure this upper plateau area, maybe establish some Utashalas, a couple of shields, AA, that sort of thing. But we'll see how time goes on. And there's no mexes in the southeastern corner, and really it only would be useful for maybe some bombing runs along the edge of the map to kind of hide the bombers incoming, but it's not really worth it. There's nothing to secure over there. So it's just dead space essentially here for this game. And it's always sad to see dead space. The game is very fun. If you haven't played Dead Space, recommend it. The remake came out earlier, or the remaster essentially came out earlier this year. Very good game. Would highly recommend it. Anyway, Dead Space and especially RTSs is just it's not a waste, but it's essentially a waste. I wish there'd be like a couple of mixes down there to kind of make it worth it to go down there, but both teams are just avoiding it entirely, and it's just it's not a lot of land mass, but it's a decent amount. Does look like Team 2 was able to oust Lee off of this northwest position. This will be a little bit of an advantage here for Team 2, for the blue team, because it's just 9 more mexes that they have at their disposal, denying 9 mexes for Team 1. And that's, at T2 mexes, that's, what is that, 54? 6 times 9, yeah, 54 mass per second. That's a decent chunk of mass that they're just denying, especially in this kind of early to mid-game stage where you need all the mass you can to get those tech upgrades, to get those units out on the field. The Rhinos are what Hannah Below has decided to use primarily, and again, they are very tanky. They are known as the... Actually, these are Wagners. No, wait, hold on. Why did he build a Wagner? I know they're cheaper, but, I mean, the amount of hit points, 700 more hit points, there's no water. Well, relatively no water, so it's not really useful to build Wagners, maybe just because they shoot faster, kind of like the Riptide counterparts. Scorpio East trying to wall off this northwestern side. He has an intel installation. Love to see it pretty far forward on Team 2's main bases. Very far forward. Get that up to T2. You can see the ring. He can barely see into Cyrus's main base. If he can get that to T2, he can see a lot of this map. And just like the pin notification, we can see T3 has been completed here for Caliber and also for the player of Gibbs. So 2 players on Team 2 have T3 air versus the only oh no, 2 players on Team 1 have gone T3 air as well. So it is a 2v2 scenario in the air. We haven't seen a lot of air forces for either team, but what is this? We have a drop of T1. Is that Arties? Are those Zooies? I think those are Zooies on there. And they're continuing in. There's no air cover nearby. That's what those ASF came in to do, is trying to secure these skies above this position. Where are they dropping? Well, they're going to drop right outside those air facilities. Oh, they could go after the Pigeon. That would have been great had they been dropped a little bit closer. But there come the Zooies. They're going to take out a huge number of Mexes here, but a couple of PD have been spammed up here from Caliber. They're starting to take out the Zooie. The Zooie are pretty weak. There goes one T2 Mex fully ringed. There goes another T2 Mex. This one will die. This one will die. They're going after the Pigeon. This is the biggest thing they need to go after. They can take this. This will severely diminish Caliber's ability to produce air units for a while. The artillery is raining in. The engineers are assisting it because they know it is very vital. A lot of those Zooie have been killed off already. A couple of them going after the comm, going after this Mex. Not going to really work out there for them. Should have probably devoted more of the Zooie to this ion reactor, but they've taken out 5 Mexes. That's very good, but now Caliber is aware of it. We had another drop here from Team 1 from Salih. It's a mix of some Mech Marines and some Lobos. These Mexes will go down as well. Team 2 is just constantly having their eco taken out. And the ironic part is Team 2 is still in the lead with eco. Team 2 at 530 for them and about 510 to 515. So it's not a huge differential, but it's enough. It's enough early on, especially considering where they were after the fact. What happened to all those units? What did they... Oh, he just got rid of his T1. Okay, I was like, why didn't all those units explode? But Caliber is under threat. Lobos aren't that bad as long as he keeps moving. Some of the AoE explosions will get him, but this Mex will go down just because of collateral damage. And it is going to take him a while. He doesn't have any gun. He doesn't have any veterancy, so it's going to take him a minute. But, you know, he will survive. He will get veterancy essentially from this. He's almost at 1,000. He gets, what is that, 24 per kill? Let's see, he's at 685. I don't know the exact math on how that works, because I know you get veterancy partially from killing it as well as how much damage you did to it, so I can't remember the exact amounts. But another drop here from Team 1. Both players, both the air players for Team 1, the red players essentially, are dropping constantly on Team 2's positions, going after multiple bases. Unfortunately, you can only really do this move a couple of times. After you do that, it's essentially useless because there'll be so much AA, it won't even be worth it. So this is when you want to do it, is early on. They'll take out a T2 Pigeon and take out the radar. The blinding your opponent, always a good move. Never will say anything bad about that. But the T2 facilities that are upgrading to T3 right now, we have a T2 air headquarters as well, upgrading to T3 as well. So it does look like Saris is going for the tech for both land and air. That'll essentially give 3 players on Team 2 T3 land, T3 air, and 2 T2 land. Sorry, 2 T3 land. Lots of numbers and T's in there. Kind of a tongue twister, but it does look like the comm of Hannibal is starting to be surrounded here, at least intercepted. We have a couple of Autumns here for the player of Chiz. Those Autumns are being focused on by the bricks. Hannibal will be fine. He has the nano repair, 90 hit points a second. A couple of T3 tanks is not the end of the world. These units are pulled away from their position down the middle, so I wonder if Saris is going to try to attack this. There's a couple of PD, there's a couple of zappers, there's some T2 facilities upgrading to T3, so trying to produce those bricks, and then building some flak, and then maybe even some Gunthers? Yeah, those are Gunthers. I'm trying to tell by the little hologram silhouette thingamajig. I think hologram would be the better way to put it. And he does attack with those units. He has a couple of hoplites, a couple of these AA bangers, but they're not going to puncture the shields, at least right away. And they are upgrading as we speak to get even more shield capacity and wider range of coverage. These units will now be intercepted by some units here from Scorpy. And in terms of kills, no one has died yet at almost 20 minutes. Knock on wood for any of those players. This position is been annihilated by those drops. It was a really good move from Team 1. I just wish they were able to take out that P-Gen. That would have been huge. The amount of build power they would have lost, the amount of time that Team 2's player of caliber would have lost, would have been a considerable amount. Just couldn't seal the deal. That should have been the main attack, and now he already has T2. Mechs is already back on top. And in terms of eco, Team 2 is still in the lead, and that gap has only widened by about, I'd say, 60 compared to the 20 we talked about a couple minutes ago. We have Chiz on that eastern side still pushing. T3 units starting to, trickle their way into those frontline units more and more. We even saw that monkey being built by Caliber. He's probably going to send it. I mean, could you send it through this position? I think it's wide enough. You might be able to send the Monkey Lord through this little mountain chasm. Or not mountain valley walkway thingamajiggy. But units here from Team 2's player of Sabres does punch through that center line. And now it looks like they're retreating. But we're having a drop here. These artillery, where are they going? Oh, it's not worth dropping right here. Oh, a lot of those. Oh, no. All of the units on board for this transport get killed, and all of these ones get killed, and the transport as well. Chiz saying lol. But he gets killed by some ghetto gunships here. Chiz being annihilated by Celine is the first player of the game destroyed. Is now a 4v3 in Team 1's favor. Looked like there were some mech marines. They were the not the upgraded ghetto gunships, because some people like to put those. Is it Hunter? Not what are the ones for the Aeon called? 1k HP says Chiz. Yeah, his hit points pretty low, but he has 90 hit points a second, 96 actually. So not gonna sit at 1,000 for very long. But I'm trying to remember what those. It's not Hunters. What are they called? Who's Aeon on? Oh, it's yeah, but let's see. What was those units called again? Really quickly. Spirits. No, Flare. Oh, I think they were Flares, but I think that's the ghetto gunship with the little Aeon little circle, UEF transport. Sorry, not UEF, Aeon transport. UFO transport. That's what I was saying. But anyway. Oh, man, Team 2, they were looking so good. They had a push down the middle. They were pushing on this eastern side, but a couple of transports with a bunch of T1 units just annihilated that column of Chiz. Definitely unfortunate. They all died due to the explosion on that comm, due to the quote-unquote quantum core that may or may not be in the chassis of that commander. There was a talk last video about, was it last video? 2 videos ago, about how the cruisers have so many missiles, like the UEF ones, the governors, and conversation talked about how like miniaturization, or like there's these essentially just engineer facilities inside the cruiser that can produce them on the fly. And we think there are some people that think there's a quantum core essentially in the heart of the commander. And I was like, well, that's probably why it explodes in kind of a nuke, because essentially if you had something powerful like that, it would give off some sort of volatile explosion if it was destroyed. So anyway, little lore talking here for this game. But we have another attempt here with a couple more Zooey transports here from Antrox. Antrox trying to pump these out. He has been doing fairly well with them. Both players on Team 1 have been, especially with getting a kill just from some transports and some T1 units. So, but it is starting to be phased out a little bit. We have, groups of ASF being built up for both teams from both of those players, as well as Team 2's 2 air players. We're even seeing a donut being built, which is very rare. We see an early donut at 23 minutes. Usually that's a unit that's built later on. But it does look like Gib wants to produce that, and he has control over the whole southern portion of the map, since Chiz's army and resources and forces were given over to Gib. Or not given to Gib, but he inherited them essentially. We have a small group of bricks here, followed by some mantis, and you can just look at the size difference between these two. Like that. That's the brick on the left and the mantis on the right. And you're like, that thing is huge. And it still has that 4-legged kind of spidery-like design. Almost looks like a not a mass extractor, but it looks like an ore extractor from other games that I played. It's just kind of like it's like a solid rectangular structure with some like vents on the side to vent out heat and whatnot from the drills. Let's see. On the east, we have a group of Othams pushing this eastern side with some shields. The shields should be accompanying the Othams, not pushing forward. But it is distracting these T1 auto guns from attacking the Othams. But it's T1 PD. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage, at least long term, against these Othams. And there's 6 of them. Team 1 needs a response to this. They have 1 brick but and a couple of rhinos, but that's not going to be enough. The shields do move quicker than the Othams, so those should be there. The only thing that I can say, and I say this for a lot of things like this, they need some AA. Just a couple of them. Just a couple, even T2. Just T2 air. Get that, flak going. All these bombers would be destroyed. But, when you're working on a budget, you have to, cut corners somewhere. I completely understand the fact that you got to cut something. But a couple of T2 mexes fully ringed will go down. It looks like they might get back to this one. There's a monkey lord being built here by Hannibalo. Did that monkey finish? It did. Where did it end up going? And it does go up this way. Look at this. Secret tunnel. Essentially, secret tunnel. Let me know down in the comments if you know what that phrase, that little song phrase. I guess it is a phrase, but it's also part of a song. Is from. It's one of my favorite shows growing up. That was a good show to today. Couple of Othams get pretty close to this ion reactor. Will they be able to take it out? This Otham will be taken out. There's still 2 more. Oh, there it goes. Volatile explosion takes the other Otham out, and now they're targeting the power. A lot of T1, not a whole, a lot really worth it. There's only 20 energy being produced per, generator. But, any energy loss is kind of a hard thing. He's only at 800, so yeah. Had they focused on the second PGen, he'd be, bleeding power by now. But it's still going to be, kind of a hassle. He can't put as many resources into his monkey lord that he wants. So essentially, it still worked. It wasn't like 100% effective, but it was still effective. Bricks fighting bricks here in the middle. Cybran on Cybran action. It's fun to see, but also it hurts sometimes. The Cybrans, they are a fun faction to play as just because they have so much utility. And I say that with a lot of their units, like, the AA on the cruisers can shoot on ground, at ground targets. You have, a lot of their experimentals have torpedoes built into them. You have obviously the Salems can walk on land. Like, there's a lot of versatility with the Cybrans. And the fact that they just passively regen shields, not shields, but passively regen structures, that's just because of what they do. You love to see that, every faction has its own flavor, its own play style, and even within that own play style, there's even variations of said play style. So that's why I love FAF. There's just so many ways to play one faction. It's never like the same game ever, especially with, the map gens like this, where there isn't another map like this. This is the only time we're seeing it. Maybe there'll be slight variations, but this is the only time that we'll see this exact map in FAF. But that donut is finished. Team 2 has a huge, essentially, target painted on their backs, at least in terms of the player of Gib. Team 1 does have a huge amount of ASF that could one-shot it, or one-pass it, I should say. So Team 2 has to be very aware of the incoming ASF threat. They are trying to protect their T2 Stinger gunships here. Taking out a lot of the early units that just were kind of forgotten here. A lot of these mechs haven't been upgraded even to T2, at least these center ones. These ones have, but there's not that many. And it was essentially more denying your opponent versus scooping up the mass. But a couple of transports try to be called forth. They'll run head first into that Colossus, the Tsar, and go, no, it's not going to happen. We have Gunthers firing on these bricks here in the middle. The bricks from Team 2 outnumber the ones from Team 1, and essentially it's just numbers and are they in range. And a lot of them are in range, and this one will die off. He does need some engineers to scoop up all of this mass. Speaking of mass, how much mass is currently on screen? 30? It's kind of too wide. 30, 24,000? Decent chunk. That's about a monkey lord's worth of mass, not math. This game does have a lot of math in it, but especially when you play Satins, but not in this game. You don't really need a whole lot of math. You just need to know, like, okay, I need to be taking in more mass than I'm expelling, or can I justify, you know, being negative in mass and just kind of not wide, but just tough it out and wait for the, you know, building experimental, you're going to be negative a lot of times and just going to have to ride that wave out. But we have still bricks starting to whittle down this force here from Carius in the middle, but it just looks like Carius still has more and more bricks. Unfortunately, the bricks from Team 2 are not focusing the same target, and therefore they're going to start losing their bricks a lot faster. And more bricks are being resupplied because they are, you know, on that front line. There's a lot of them incoming. There's a lot of facilities producing these bricks as fast as they can. This force will be taken out. Let's see, is Team 2 building anything else? A huge air grid already built here at 30 minutes. That's pretty quick for that size of an air grid. Well, he does have 2 bases, to be fair. And in terms of eco, both teams are now tied at 1.5 thousand mass per second. Team 2 in the lead by about 50,000 mass. Not a huge amount. We have another column of bricks pushing the southern side. Awesome's having to retreat. The benefit, though, is that Team 2's player of Gib does have shields. So they'll stave off 10,000 hit points of damage per shield. So a lot of hit points being saved here just by having those shields in the mix. Now he just needs some AA, which he does. He has a couple of those lightning tanks in there. So, you know, not completely defenseless against air units. More drops coming in. Looks like it's a hodgepodge of some shields. Looks like there's a Percy on there, at least for this one. Let's see where these ones are going. They're going to drop in the middle here. ASFs do find them. They'll take out the first Continental. The second one's taken out, but the 2 Percys, a couple of Flapjacks, and some AA guns in the mix. So nice grouping of units. Unfortunately, Team 2 knows about it. So, yeah, it's not really going to work out. And that's what I said earlier on in the cast was, you know, eventually that transport play across the map isn't really going to work because Team 2 is going to be like, no, you're not doing that. Stop doing that. And that's pretty much what's happening now. We have a ball of restorers here for Gib. He is the Aeon player, so he's going to build restorers. They're very effective against AA. And you can just see they're less, not super effective against ground units, but a nuke has been built by Team 2's player of Caliber. He's already launched it at 31 minutes, almost on the dot. Going after the central position here of that air grid. There is an SMD. It is not loaded, will not be loaded in time. He knows it, everyone knows it, and those engineers are retreating. Team 1's player of Slee, Slee will lose access to his T3 tech, both in the air and on the ground. Kaboom! Takes out almost the entire air grid bar 1 facility. The T3 land facility gets taken out. 4 core masses are taken out as well. Team 1, you know, slightly in the lead there with generated mass, but that's a huge hole in their infrastructure that's just gone. A lot of those forces and units and engineers were retreating to either side. There's a huge horde of them down here, and they're going to spam up some nuke eliminator missiles, the anti-nukes, but it does look like they might go for an artillery play, just given the formation of the shields. I don't know what it looks like, and it is a blueprint because it was, you know, popped up all at once as AA guns being essentially just spread around the map here for Team 1. 2 players in the northeast corner of the map. Salee in that northeast corner, and Scorpion just kind of on the hill. Just doesn't want to be torpedo bombed or whatever the case may be automatically. But the Czar will go down here on the southeastern side of the map to that horde of ASF from Antrox. He will retreat with those ASF that can get out of there. But all Team 2 has to do is come bring in a couple of engineers, and all that mass is theirs. Now the thing is they need to keep that section. There's no ground forces nearby. These Othams should walk forward and just guard the mass. We're seeing a huge amount of bricks here. It's all just bricks. It's not bricks and Loyalists. It's not bricks in AA. It's not bricks in literally anything else. It's just bricks. And we have missiles constantly being launched here by the player of Selene in the middle. And they're going after some ion reactors, I guess. But the zappers nearby They'll take care of that right quick. Teleporter on the way here for Carius. He has the laser. That's an early play. 33 minutes for a laser on their command, or for their laser and teleporter. That's kind of early. It's not usually a desperation play. If you can use it right, it's very effective. But, you know, there's Siphon players on both teams. Both teams will be aware of that. It's not going to be a surprise that somebody goes telemaser comm. But the bricks will be able to weather the storm of the incoming PD. It doesn't really matter how much they build up in time. They're just going to run over this position. Essentially, it's a reverse running into a brick wall. The brick wall is running into you. Like in Mother Russia, the brick wall runs into you. Those memes and jokes from the... is it early 2000s that those were like... Those kind of memes and jokes came out? I can't remember. It's been forever. I'm old. I feel old. But I know that there are definitely viewers that are older than me saying, you're not old, I'm old. But it doesn't really matter how old you are. Age is essentially just a number, but it does get to you when your body just doesn't really work the way it used to. But we have a crab here in the middle, and there's really nothing Team 2 can do about it. There's no defenses up to essentially the main base. And is the crab going to go around and deal with those bricks? But it does look like all of the supporting units from Team 1's player of Scorpio will retreat, at least most of the bricks will, to intercept these column of bricks moving in. This is the best play here for Carius, trying to at least distract these forces in the middle. I hear a chicken firing. No, it is a chicken. It's firing against this monkey. The monkey is going to lose that fight. The chicken will be fine, especially with all the restorers. I wouldn't be surprised if they move to the west. It does look like Team 1 did scoop up that Zarek, and the air fight will engage. A huge horde of these Corsair fighter bombers just annihilate the hit points on that chicken. The crab. And the chicken is running that crab down. The crab cannot get away. Even if the chicken dies, it doesn't matter. The crab dies. Will it crash land? Nope, does not kill him. The chicken is still alive. All those bricks have to do is just kind of turn around and face him, but they don't want to because it's a chicken and it's scary. And that's the downside with essentially just moving all of your main units that can fire to other ground units away. Is all you have is AA, and that only gets you so far. A small contingent of Authams are pushing against this center side as well, with the demise of the crab to the west. Hopefully Team 2 grabs it. Another nuke goes off by Team 2's player of Caliber. Where is this one going? Hopefully not to the middle, because now there's an SMD that is loaded. And it's actually going more northward, going for this position. There's not a whole lot of infrastructure up here. There's a lot of just AA just kind of spattered everywhere. And it is going for these, not core mass, but secondary core mass. And it will land, and I want to watch the pretty explosions. Oh, and the Team 1 player of, let's see, who is that? Antrox? Just control K's it. Giving, like, no points for you, no veterancy for your nuke launcher. It's already at 3. It would have definitely gone to 5, I think. And from what I understand, all veterancy necessarily does is increases the regenning time on, or regenning speed of those structures. But Carius did teleport, take out the air grid, but he's going to be taken out by strat bombers. It's not... I don't know if that was really worth the play. Yeah, the air grid is down, but you have Team 2 with an artillery. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. It's a emissary, and they're building 2 more as we speak, separate from the original, which I love that play. I feel like 2 you could have in the same location, but they're decentralizing their artillery, so if 1 goes up in smoke, not all of them go up in smoke all at once. But a large section of that air grid is down. Antrox really only has whatever he has remaining. He does have secondary facilities coming online. 2 nukes being built up here with an SMD to protect them. He already has almost 2 loaded already. Hasn't even launched either of them. Well, soon to be either of them. Team 1's player of Scorpio has another monkey, but constantly just ramming these bricks down the throat of Team 1. It is a 4v2 in favor of Team 1. We are at 37 minutes. Let me know how you feel about the game so far, whether you think Team 1's going to win, Team 2's going to win, moves that have been made. Let me know down in the comments. Like the video if you like it. And, of course, if you've been enjoying the video so far, or just my videos in general, hit that sub button down below the video. We have a crab being chased by a chicken. That's really only going to go one way, especially with some PD. But the crab is now in range of that chicken. It does do a decent amount more damage, I think. Especially because there's 3 different types of guns on the chicken versus 2, long range, essentially artillery cannons. But the calm of Hannibal is nearby. The chicken gets its slow cannon off. It drops him into the yellow, sub 50% of his hit points. He got a rank of veterancy in that mix as well, so that helped him a little bit. But he needs to retreat from that front line. The other chicken from Team 2 does get taken out as well. There's a decent amount of mass for Team 1 to scoop up. 43,000 on the map currently with 2 chickens. So a lot of mass. I don't like, I like having it so I don't have to constantly hide and unhide the little panel, but it is nice to just have not a whole bunch of stuff on screen. And I would put it up in the corner, but then I could never read what the heck was going on with the mass or whatever, so that's why I dropped it a little bit lower, at least the mini map a little bit lower. I've thought about putting it over here, but I kind of like splitting it up so it's not all on one side of the map, or screen I should say. But in terms of Team 2, they have a game plan. They're going for artillery. The second one's built. The third one's being built as we speak. We have the nuke launcher, of course, here. We also have a Scathis. Oh, I love this. Under 2 rows of shields. And what this essentially does is says it's going to not essentially double coverage, but it overlaps the shielding. So even if, let's say, somebody were to teleport here with the telemaser, they have to shoot through these shields and then shoot through these shields to get to the Scathis. That's a very smart play by Caliber. I love that play. Or just essentially it's just the position of those shields and the Scathis relative to them. Double layered shielding right here, trying to get a nice little view on it so you guys get a nice little picture. Maybe I'll use it as the thumbnail. I don't know. I watch the game, or I have the game running just to ensure there's no desyncs or terrible desyncs. But I like to cast the game as if I don't know what's going on. Because if I know who wins, it's not as enjoyable, let's say, for me. It's still enjoyable for you all. But I do these casts because I just enjoy doing them. And I like watching the games, too. I have for a very long time. And so that's one of the reasons why I started casting. Was like, well, if I enjoy it so much, I might as well share it with other people. And a lot of you have seemed to like that. And I really do appreciate it. That air grid's still being demolished. A couple of shields are going to try to at least protect the vital structures of a Quantum Gateway, the headquarters, and then some PD. That's where the comm was sitting before it was transported away. I wouldn't keep it on the transport, at least land him there, but don't want any restorers coming nearby and just wrecking his shop. But we have one why? It's why. This I know you can build, there's an AA, a lot of AA on this. There's also the ability to build T3 air units as well, or just air units in general. But it's not worth it. It does hardly anything in terms of offensive capabilities. It's not even defensive. It's just essentially it's a submersible T3 facility, and another chicken comes in range of Hannibal's main comm. He should have retreated off the front lines when he had the chance, and that will be his demise. This game now has the first kill for Team 2. It is a 3v2 still in Team 1's favor, with 2 of the comms residing in the northeast corner and one of them in the middle of one of their friends' bases. But Strat Bombers are trying to take out that chicken. The area ASF force from Team 2 comes in, annihilates those, at least most of them. And another nuke will launch, this time from Team 1, and both of them launch. What are these going after? Both of them are targeting the same place, essentially. One of them going after the artillery. It looks like there was a RASCOM. It went after the SMD. That's a huge grab by Team 1. Sacrificing a RASCOM for the SMD is a very good play. It doesn't look like there's any SMD that can counter it nearby. There's 2 of them inbound. This nuke will land, and if this one goes far enough, this will land, which it looks like it will. Oh, but it goes on the edge. Oh, that one went on the edge of those, of the artillery range, and it's going to go for the air grid. So 1 out of 2 isn't bad. The comm of Gib did retreat, and now there's a second nuke launch by Team 1. Once again, that whole air grid is up in smoke. The headquarters is gone. A couple of facilities remain active, and core mass is gone as well. Oh, it's got to hurt Team 2's eco. 1.3k mass per second here for Gib. But the artillery is still online for him. That SMD right there, man, that saved the day. Yeah, it landed like Boar's going to land right about here. Just barely came into range. We should see that other nuke come, coast over, and there it goes. It's going to take out that nuke. This one has none loaded. Gib and Caliber need more SMD. There's one being prepared here for that Scathis by itself. Need probably one like right here. They had one there, but then it died. So they need another one. Team 1 has more forward momentum now. At least they can feel it in their bootstraps. And are pushing down the center line once again with 1, 2, 3 experimentals, 2 monkeys, 1 crab. The chicken does die. The monkey is trying to get away. A couple of units will be singed. 2 crabs go down. A huge advantage for Team 1 in that middle. We have Rascoms kind of just dispersing throughout the map, collecting reclaim and such. We have a group of Othams, AA, and shields being built up here. That's going to be very hard to take out just with gunships, whatever the case may be. And we have bombers inbound, but there's a lot of shielding. It's going to take a while to chew through all those shields and those AAs, so got to watch out for that. Ion Storm takes out another brick. Oh, it's got to hurt. But 3 artillery here in the middle here for Team 2 are online. It's chewed through this position quite heavily. It's gone after, now it's going after this position. Looks like that was earlier on, I think, yeah. But, that was the nuke from earlier on, I should say. I don't know what these Continentals are doing. I think they're trying to protect structures on the ground, but unfortunately they're not hovering directly over it. The nuke will launch. It'll launch right next to the old nuke. Couple of Continentals take a hit. It's gotta hurt. Team 2 will get another victory here. Another nuke launches here by Team 1. We have the comm of Scorpion in a corner, not protected by anything. No AA, no shields, no nothing. Very huge risk here, because we just have a couple of gunships come over and he's dead. But that nuke is trying to go after those artillery once again. Is this one loaded? No, it's not. Oh, Gib needs to move. Gib isn't moving. Is he going to be killed? Oh, he didn't move fast enough. And all 3 artillery go down, and the comm. That is 1 effective nuke, 1 very plus nuke, and it is now a 3v1 for Team 1. Gib goes down. Caliber will inherit everything. Everything will now be Stitch Blue, except for 1 of these Ion Storms, just because it died before the transfer was complete. But these bricks with their experimentals are holding. More monkeys are dying constantly, of course, in the middle. They're bringing in some engineers to help scoop up the mats. Very good move. Team 2 really kind of not struggling, but not prioritizing it as much as they probably should. But they are fighting on Team 1's territory, so it just kind of goes with the territory. But a huge horde of whalers are on their way. Oh, this is a lot. That's a lot of whalers. That's 74 whalers. That's a lot. Here they come. Cresting over that hill. Oh, this is deadly here. Look at all the whalers. Look at all those chickens, Eddie. Look at them all. There they come. And they're not actually staying, surprisingly. Because they're going after AA. That would be smart. That's a lot of whalers. And even the restorers here too. That's a lot of gunships. Or in this case, that's a lot of damage. Whalers aren't specifically designed. They're kind of a middle ground between the restorer and the broadsword. The broadswords are designed specifically for taking out ground targets. They do the most damage per shot. It's just what they do. Restorers are designed for AA, and whalers are like a middle ground. But the Scathis does finish for Team 2. They lose their 3 emissaries, but they gain a Scathis. And honestly, that is a little it's about the same amount of deadliness. Not Scathis is a little more. Team 1 is building their own Scathis. Very far forward, though. They're going after the nuke launcher. Good move on that. There's no nuke launcher nearby. Now they're targeting the Scathis directly. They'll kill it. They're actually just going to straight up reclaim it. Team 1 is. And that position's going to not feel good. Team 1 launches the nuke. Will it go? It's going here. There's an SMD that's loaded. There's another SMD that's loaded. So there's still another backup nuke. Team 1 trying to pump out as many nukes as they can. Another one will finish here pretty soon. And then they have one just barely launched. But the advantage that Team 1 has is, of course, it's a watering can for the Scathis. So it's very hard to target. Very tightly knit structures and units, so Team 1 is fairly spread out. There's no one central location. That's very hard to target everything all at once. But you also have to weigh like how spread out are the shots going to be from the Scathus, all that kind of thing, how much damage each shell does. Even if it impacts some shielding, doesn't really matter. Like it hits the shield, doesn't really do a whole lot. You have you have 4 shields essentially protecting it. Essentially, you need a Maver is essentially what I'm getting, but Team 2 doesn't have access to a Maver. But it does look like there's a couple of missile launchers here from Team 1's player of Antrox trying to do some sneaky plays with his missiles, but there's, at least I think there was TMD. Yep, there's a line of TMD here from, I think, earlier, actually. Offen's pushing forward. We have some Loyalists coming in to assist. Bouncers as well. But there's a chicken. There's 2 of them coming in. The chicken from Team 1 wasn't facing them initially. That's some damage they'll lose out on. Now it's a 2v1 scenario here. A chicken going to run into his friend. Impacts. And I think it is just due to the environment, because these chickens are fairly red. Usually they're about like sometimes they're like a whitish color. Sometimes they're kind of a greenish color. I guess it just depends on the ground color, or in terms of like the land. But yeah, 1 missile isn't going to do a whole lot. The Team 2 nuke is launched. They haven't launched one in a while, but they're going after this position, where the Scathus was, which is now the crab producing facility. That's a lot of ASFs just kind of sitting there on the ground. Not the best place to sit your ASFs, but this position with a couple of RASCOMs from Scorpy going to establish kind of a forward operating base with some intel installations. I'd love to see it, but these RASCOMs, 33 mass will be destroyed from their generated coffers, and now Team 2 is leading it by a significant portion, considering even more RASCOMs died in that explosion. Kaboom! And now it's 2,000 to 1.2k mass per second. Team 2 is going to start pulling away quite rapidly in the total mass accrued game. Artillery raining in all the time. This SMD still online, has 5 nukes loaded. Pigeons just get killed. This one has 3 essentially, so either Team 2 builds a YOLO and just spams it out, or they just wait. They have a line. Oh, what is this? What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nukes are planned. Ooh, that's a spicy play. We have a monkey and a crab here on the southeastern section. There's a couple of whalers inbound to deal with that monkey lord. They have very pitiful AA. It's only really useful for like Team 1 bombers, and in large numbers. They have a huge horde of flak on their way from the bangers, but they are nowhere near their experimental buddies, and it's not going to go well. Those look like the whalers switch targets to the megalith, though. I think they want to take out the more densely packed HP experimental, because I think they might be seeing the A. No, they don't see the AA on its way, so I don't really know why they switch targets, but not the end of the world here. They'll take out the mega. Oh, probably because of the range, probably. For the chickens that are inbound, there's 3 chickens inbound. That's why they switched it over to the whalers. Where's this column? I can handle it. I scout when you have laser 2. Is there going to be a double teleporting play here from Team 1? Because there's only 1 Cybran, so... Well, I guess the Seraphicom can teleport as well. But that's a lot of Ravagers. Doing the very similar tactic that the Scathus is employing, which is a double coverage of the shields, essentially. Most of it. It's kind of at an angle. No, it's not. It looked like it was. Lots of Ravagers. This position will not get cracked, especially with all of these triads as well. Might as well nuke that position at that point. You're not going to crack that anytime soon. But chickens are going to push forward against all of this flak, and a chicken. Not going to go well. Sorry, and a crab. Not crab. I'm lucky. Wow, I cannot speak. But it looks like a RASCOM teleported in, or some sort of comm, took out the SMD. There's still one covering the Scathus itself, so it's just going to barely survive. How does the coverage look on that? Well, it covers essentially the entire base, so Team 1 could edge it out, take out like half the base, but it's not really going to work. They're going to launch it here. That's not going to work, unfortunately, for them. As a backup SMD, do they know about it? They do know about it, so wasn't really worth launching, honestly, at that point. Took out the monkey lord that was trying to flee. 2 chickens are coming to support their buddy here. Their crabs are being produced like wildfire. Or they're spreading like wildfire, I should say. This one's like 2/3 the way done almost. They should just go to this one, but, you know, save time in producing it. But I don't know, maybe they're just distracted on other things. But it looks like the game has kind of quieted down a little bit, especially obviously for all of that artillery raining in all the time. Looks like the Scathis has its main target of this position. There's a couple of shields. They take out one of the shield emitters. Take out another shield, a couple more shield emitters. There's one more left online. There's no engineers left nearby. Essentially waiting for this one to regen its shield. Actually, this one's offline entirely. Is he struggling with power? He is struggling with power, so that's gotta hurt. You gotta pause your nukes. That would save you, 10,000 power essentially, but not going well. Artillery raining in all the time. This SMD will die pretty soon, especially with these 2 nukes. One of them almost loaded. But we have 4 nuke emplacements down here. Man, that is just... Nukes anyone? Gosh, that's so many nukes. Like, you don't essentially need that much. I mean, it's nice to have, but I think it's better to, like, assist load 2 than it is to have 4 loading just passively. I don't know. I don't know the math on that. Because essentially it's 5,000 power per, and it's 400 mass per, so that's 160 mass and 5,000 power. And it does look like Caliber needs more power. He only has 6,000. He has to run those shields at peak efficiency constantly, so he needs to have backup power somewhere. So building extra P-gens, definitely a good idea here for him. Especially with trying to, rapidly produce those nukes with engineer assistance. Because what's nice is that engineer assistance is only power, it's not mass. So it's actually more effective to assist the nukes because it takes less mass to, like, run them essentially. But the Ravagers are having a heck of a time. The chickens just straight up ignoring them. This one will die pretty soon. There's 2 more chickens back here. We're talking about 5 chickens in the middle against this UEF turtle base. We have units brought forth, but Antrox get killed by Caliber. He tried to teleport in and go after the experimental artillery, the Scathis, and then the other player from Antrox. Where did he die? Not Antrox, but Scorpy. Did he die here too? Because that was just 1 comm. I don't see... Yeah, that was just him. So Caliber's still alive, just barely though. All of that PD that assisted him, and that drops it to a 1v1. Caliber says, "Let's go!" Antrox making a comment in the chat that he says between the shields, so it looks like he's the one that had the Cyber Commander, and he teleported right here, and so he went through the shields from the first line, and then because there's a second line of shields just barely covering him like this, and had to chew through it again, and the PD next to him were able to chew through those hit points fast enough. "Where are you? You know where I am," says Caliber. Yeah, Team 1 knows where they are, and the last player of Team 1, Salee, is in the water with their 2 Atlantis-class experimental subs. Nuke goes off for Team 1. That nuke silo survived. It killed 374,000 mass. Still not as much mass as that one Awasha killed at 500,000. We still have these 4 loading here to the west. As I say something, 1 loads. They all are loaded. Strategic launch detected. Another one fires. Another one's going to fire, and another one's going to fire. So all of them firing essentially, one after the other, and they're going all over the map with the artillery, of course, from the Scathis. I do apologize for missing that teleport in. I don't know where Scorpy died. That was from earlier. That was from earlier. That was from earlier. There's a nuke goes down here, takes out those set of mass. But here they go. Kaboom. Takes out that section of P-gens and mass. Next, we'll take out this section of P-gens and facilities. Kaboom. This one goes down here. That position just gets annihilated. And that one gets taken out. Kaboom. Opens the way for these chickens to push forward without hardly any resistance. There's one chicken by itself being shot at by a bunch of transport gunships. The flag is actually taking out the transports. That is hilarious. There's 1 stinger in the mix that's going to get killed off. But it is pushing probably for this group of T3 land headquarters. You don't need all 4 of them to be T3 headquarters. Backups are fine, but not when they're like next to each other. The Monkey Lord is trying to chase that chicken down. There's even a crab trying to do his best. Another facility will go down. This is like the only target. It's at 395,000, so almost 400,000. Team 1 capitulating very quickly. Essentially, once those other 2 players die trying to take out Caliber, his shields are even down. He's actually... he doesn't even have power. He's really struggling here. Trying to produce, I think, a bunch of monkeys, I think, is probably why he's just suffering. Oh, and he's producing more pigeons as we speak, so trying to fix that issue as well. But honestly, for him, it's not game over, but you know, it's not looking good here for Team 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Celine evacuates here in a couple of minutes. You know, pretty much everything is gone. Has a couple of facilities still online. That chicken is still alive. Took out all 3 of those headquarters. We could go after the nuke. Man, this has gotta hurt. Unplayable, says Hannibal Low. I pressed the D button. I'm too greedy for that, says Caliber. I don't know what the D button means. Oh, die, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what he's referring to. I'm just gonna speed it up just a hair. Probably do 2. The chickens are coming after those Rascoms. A group of Utashalas are being built, but by 1 Rascom, that's really not gonna work. The chicken does eventually die up here. But it's just the end here for Team 1. Retarget Scathis, says Gib. Yeah, it looks like it's just been hitting the same target constantly. Looks like he fixed his power. Yeah. Oh yeah, he's at 62,000 power now, or was, though. Plenty of power. Is assisting another set of nukes. At least one of them, at least. We'll have another line of nukes to deploy at his leisure. Those look like Celine comes out of the water to build a mass fab farm. Don't know if that's going to be that effective. Chicken's chasing down a crab. Nuke gets launched here by Team 2. That Team 1 nuke is still online. Oh, that could still launch. Well, maybe I'll slow it down a little bit. That Team 1 nuke could still launch and do something, or at least try to do something. Maybe target the chickens, maybe target the nukes that are down here, but there are SMD protecting it as we speak. A YOLO was built. This man, that's why he was losing so much power. He built a second experimental. When 1 is not enough, Caliber decides to build 2 of them because he says, why not? Takes out this, whatever was up here. Will Celine retreat? Where did that... Oh, it's going to go up here. Will that YOLO clip the comm? Maybe. I think it's... has a decent... It does have a decent AoE, but I don't know the exact range. Here comes the nuke. Here it goes. It's gonna, come off screen just for a second, and then here it comes. Boom! It looks like like Celine retreats just before the nuke launches. Does not want to. Haha, says Celine doesn't get the kill. But GG goes out from Caliber. Caliber won the game. I wouldn't say he was the most. I know I missed it, but the fact that he survived the teleport, he did have the laser on his comm as well, so that did help. And he didn't have nano, but he had RAS. If he had nano, would have probably been a little bit better. But the Scathis did not die. The pigeons were right here; those didn't die, of course. So him surviving essentially 2 comms. I don't know where the second one teleported in though. It could. There's only 1 explosion. I don't know where Scorpy died. Well. It does look like there's 2 rings, so maybe it was just one on top of the other, maybe. Trying to look at the indentation on the ground. Yeah, it does look like there's 2 circles, maybe. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe both comms just teleported in right next to each other and they both instantly died, essentially. But Caliber will win the game for his team of Team 2. That was a very good match. A lot of back and forth. Very good plays here from Team 1 and Team 2. But I feel like because Team 2 lost 2 of their players, a lot of the resources went into the hands of 1 player. Built artillery, decimated the air. Team 1 really couldn't come back into the air after that point. They lost the artillery, built the Scathis, though. That kept them alive for a very long time. And then on top of that went, it's fine, I'll build a YOLO, it's fine. Because why not? But so I'd say Caliber, just because he survived... Team 1 would have won had they been able to kill Caliber at that moment. They just couldn't do it. And so I'll give the underrated player to Caliber of this game. Good job, Caliber. You did a very good job. And you built the YOLO because YOLO, why not? And again, let me know down in the comments how you feel about the match. Like the video if you did. And of course, if you haven't hit that sub button, I would greatly appreciate everyone doing so. And again, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.